welcome back to my channel, or I guess I could even say our channel.
Our channel.
Today we're going to be discussing Daniel's future care and the plan behind that and what it's going to look like or could possibly look like.
Try out.
Yeah, I guess that's a question we get asked quite often is, what is the plan in all different scenarios? My parents getting old and not being able to care for him themselves, something happening to my parents down the road, and I'm stuck with Daniel, and all that. So
all the worries of what parents have.
Yeah.
So my plan was, I was trying to set up our home where I can have all the option of either I have a live-in nanny to running staff certain shifts, and of course I have my wonderful daughter here willing to do a shift, and also will take over what I'm doing now, organizing everything. It's always changing. Your plan is always changing, and once you try and actually find staff and train, and it's a process.
Yeah.
And it, you know, you do your best, but it's hard. My plan, what do you want to say?
Well, I was just gonna say, right now Daniel has funding, and every year there's a contract. Oftentimes that contract doesn't change unless you revisit it, say every couple years, to discuss wage increases, or if Daniel's care has changed, gotten more intense, or whatever it may be. So right now, I guess you're in the process.
We're in the process of trying to get more funding, so that I need to hire a night staff, and because Daniel cannot be left alone at all, and he needs a lot of caregiving during the night because of his acid reflux and just gas pain and typical wet through stuff like that. So right now I sleep beside him, and I'm trying to find someone to do a night shift.
Yeah, so we're just waiting on the rigmarole that all is to see if we can put that plan in place for Daniel. And I guess that is a part of his future, because eventually when my parents get too old to go to that extreme measures of taking care of him, my mom wants to make sure it's all properly set up for either her to manage it into her older age as far as like staff goes and Daniel's care, or if something
ever
were
was
to happen to you and Dad in that extreme life scenario, then I'd be happy to take on the managerial role of figuring all that out. So even when we're meeting with programming and funding, I'm usually around anyway, because I'm working with Daniel during the day, but my mom always likes me sitting in and kind of just listening and learning. I don't know if I'd be as good as fighting for what Daniel needs as my mom is, because it really is a business. Ultimately, like, his care is the end goal, but the way you have to set it up and go through the funding and the programming that's put in place to help families, it's a lot of work, and it's not as easy to navigate, I guess. Like,
you never know. It's just very difficult, and I mean, you do the best you can. We're fortunate enough that I've been able to create where Jessie and I live together. Well, she has a house. We have 2 houses attached together.
Yeah.
So that's great, and that's a nice setup. And then, so the place that we live right now with Daniel is a 2-bedroom basically, and we're gonna put all the tracking systems in, and for our old age too, and get it all set up so that if anything did happen to Dave and I, that at least we have it all organized for Jessie just to take over.
Well, and that's probably the most challenging worry that you have as a parent, of like, what if one of you gets cancer or needs a major surgery,
yeah,
or like you guys.
So
like,
the only time you'll ever get 24/7 care money around the clock, 24-hour around the clock, is if, like you say, we do get cancer, we have a surgery.
Yeah.
There's emergency
like there's
fund
an
for that.
extreme life scenario.
Yeah. But ideally, they don't cover 24 hours. So that means that us as parents will
supposedly, but we do know of some families who have received it.
Yeah, you just have to maneuver things, and whether it's for like a 4-hour, 5-hour span in between 2 shifts, or you can sometimes get 3 shifts, depending on the amount of hourly wage you're going to pay your people and the needs of Daniel.
Yeah, it all goes based off of Daniel's needs. So obviously if he was sleeping through the night and he didn't need nighttime care, then you can't just like fight for nighttime care. So yeah, that's kind of just how it works. Some people may have questions of, well, why don't you just put him in a full-time care special needs home? Then you don't have the hassle, for lack of a better word, to deal with all of the fighting for funding, hiring staff, that whole process.
When Daniel was before 18, I have a lot of friends and other families like us at different stages, and I always did my own research, and I always thought, okay, how do I use the system to my advantage? So before Daniel was 18, I knew in talking with other people that I needed to so-called get money on his head before he transitioned into adulthood, so that there was money there with Daniel of whatever was available to me at the time, going in, you know, when he's on ODSP. So I did try 2 different homes. When Daniel was 13,
he would have been 12.
12, 13, 14, I did for 3 years. And I always put him in a home where I knew another family, a friend of ours. And I also did a parent-run home and a home that had many homes. So I tried 2 different homes, and for Daniel, he didn't thrive. He wasn't happy. He wasn't able to soak in the bath. Like, it was too much of a routine for him.
Yeah, I think like the best way to compare it is it's like nurses in a hospital. Like, you have some really great nurses that are willing to go above and beyond, but the system just doesn't allow it. So that's the same, I would say pretty similar to home staff care. Like, the staff, a lot of them really had I guess children and adults in the home. They're so what am I trying to say? Like, they had their best interest.
Yes. They say, oh, they're going to do this, do that, but the reality of
it's not set up like that. So for example, like, Daniel usually was in a home that had other people in wheelchairs. Well, if it's a nice sunny day, you want to get these people out walking.
They don't hire one-to-one staff. Let's put it that way.
Like, say there's like 3 staff and like 5 people with wheelchairs. Well, you only can, I guess, take certain people on walks. And so it doesn't function as well as you may think it would function. And even
routine and eating, the quality of food, and anything, it just is, it declines in the sense of, unfortunately. And we gave it a good shot, because I am a type of parent that if my child is happy and it's something that's positive for Daniel, where he could be around others and other people and create a wonderful home life that way. And then Dave, we thought as a family, we're very proactive, we could actually enhance, like, go on holiday, like,
you'd have the energy.
I'd have the energy and do a lot more for him, and he'd have a better life. But we tried it, and it just didn't work for Daniel. So I now know that I have to set up things at home and do our best. And I'm very fortunate to have a daughter that I do. not, you know, and the type of people Dave and I are. I mean, it is very, very difficult. Don't get me, like, it's very difficult. I'm in my 50s, Dave's
6 years older. So
yeah, 6 years older.
Still in his 50s.
Still in his 50s, late 50s.
Yeah.
So I think the lack of sleep for me, and that is very difficult. And the fact that Daniel at times is in pain, and it's, you know, the acid reflux, we have it where we can get rid of that, but it's, you know, but sometimes he's just in body pain and gas pain, and you do everything that, you know, I do everything that medically, from doctors saying to alternative to talking to other people. I always try new things every year to ease his pain. There's some times where Daniel's just in so much pain and I've done everything and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and he's still up, and that's why I need to have a staff with him all night, because it's sometimes I have to make the decision of walking away from Daniel and giving him in God's hands that he's going to be okay, so I could get a couple hours of sleep, and I'll go sleep on the couch because I can't fully fall asleep hearing him, or, you know, and there's nothing more I can do except be more exhausted.
Yeah. So yeah, you definitely have to prioritize your sleep sometimes. So that's where we're at right now, and our thoughts around the future and what that could look like as life happens.
Yeah, I think how I'm gonna do the staffing, because the other issue that other parents have had, I haven't yet fully run it like 2 or 3 people staff.
Yeah.
I think what I might do is find someone that can live in our basement and give them a roof over their head, and them take on hours and do emergency when someone doesn't show up. And between Jesse and that person living in our basement, where I, you know, and give them a free room and board sort of thing, break it down for them as far as cost and salary. That's sort of the way I think I have to go.
Because yeah, once you hire outsiders who are coming in, obviously you're going to deal with them getting sick, or them needing a day off, family vacations, and that sort of thing. I mean, it's pretty easy for me to, like, us to work together, because I mean, it's family. Like, it's family. So yeah, we normally take our vacations together. Like a lot of times now that she has her own kids, and so she'll we just sort of help each other back and forth. And it does work very nice this way. And we're thankful it does.
Yeah,
I'm sure not always it is.
This is the thing, this plan, originally I thought when they were age 3 and 4 of my home and how it looked like, and all the renovating and adding on, and it was always to put this plan in place for Daniel when he got older, for having live-in nannies, depending on what Jesse wanted to do, because at that time I didn't know whether Jesse wanted to do anything or live right next door. It wasn't, you can't force that. No. It has to naturally happen. And all that. So it just worked out for us, and
we're happy to be here, and I guess we're approaching the next stage of the approval of 24/7 care, and that whole process of interviews and hiring staff, trying them out, who's going to work, who's not going to work, and that whole process. But I think that's pretty well everything for Daniel's future care plan. So we hope you enjoyed this video. Like always, leave video suggestions down below, because it really does help us kind of know what to share, because since this is our normal day-to-day life, I don't know, I just have a hard time. We have a
monotony. It's just, it's all care driven of what how Daniel's feeling. So you know, it's just, it's,
well, when it's your normal, it's like you don't know what questions other people might have, and we're an open book when it comes to that. Like, we're a down-to-earth family. So you'll get to know us as we continue to share more videos, but we thought this would be a fun one to film, sit down with my mom, Mariette. I'm Jess, obviously, hence like Jess
We'll get my husband on one of these days. Usually he works during the day, so.
Yeah, we'll drag Dad into it and see what he thinks, because it would be neat to get his point of view on what it's like being a dad in this situation, because he's a pretty special dad.
Yes, I mean, we're, like, just, it's so much, like, being able to get a tracking system, lifting devices, and getting on Kijiji, driving all over the place. Dave can pretty well do any type of renovation. Dave can fix anything, but he's tired. He doesn't want to do it anymore, so he has the battle of, oh, I just wish something would not break. And and that's where,
and the plan to go smooth, so we'll see what happens in the next couple of years, but obviously life is going to happen how it's meant to happen. Daniel's in the background. But anyway, we're going to end it here, otherwise we'll just keep blabbering on, rambling. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to subscribe. It really does help support our channel, and like this video if you like it or liked it, and leave a comment down below for any suggestions, or any positive comment is obviously welcome. So I hope you're doing wonderful in your life.
And it's hard to go. It's a hard,
no matter what your situation is.
It's hard. And you think it's gonna get easier, and it's just replaced with something else. So you just gotta hope for the best. I know.
Positive note. I know. Life is happy and joyful, and we have so many things that we can still be thankful for.
Definitely.
But anyway, we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
See ya.